You're about to listen to the words of Fethullah Gulen, a distinguished Islamic scholar and thinker. This is part 2 of his essay, The Human and Their Inner Profundities.
Attaining true humanity depends on the recognition of the relationship between the Lord and his servants. Paradoxically, human beings who are potentially loftier than the angels are likely to sink lower than the most contemptible of beings. If they do not sense or appreciate this relationship, faith is the term for this profound relationship between God and an individual, a relationship that, as Nursi beautifully expresses, can elevate every person to the status of a sultan. Disbelief, on the other hand, is when such a relationship is missing, and this devalues the human to misery. Societies formed by such individuals suffer from severe resentment, fury, lust, greed, mendacity, hypocrisy, envy, deception, and intrigue. That is, disbelief creates societies in which everyone must be on alert. Their people will be like wolves to each other, and those who succumb to such habits cannot be a society in the true sense of the term. They are simply an unthinking mob. When Diogenes of Sinope walked the streets in broad daylight with a lamp in hand, searching for a man, he was likely issuing a warning to such masses or expressing his protest against them. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and author of Meditations, advised that a man should prepare every morning for the savage people that he would face during his day. Rabia al-Adawiya was more serious and harsher in this matter. I hardly ever see a human on the street. What I see are some foxes in front of shops, some wolves and other creatures snarling at each other. For a moment, I saw a half-human and I adjusted my veil accordingly. Obviously, these people did not intend to condemn every human being. Rather, they sought to illustrate the inner state of those who have reduced their inherent human values to misery. If we fail to align our outward appearance with the purpose of our creation, or neglect to ensure that our character reflects this purpose, if we do not strive to reconcile these two aspects, then we too risk being perceived as those described above. We often come across people whose visage is well kept, but whose inner life is in disarray. A writer compares them to buildings with two different facades. The front is clean and splendid, but the back is shabby and disgusting. We value the front side, but detest the back. The same is true for many people. It would be a mistake to judge them according to a single aspect. We often glorify people whom we later discern to be wicked. In reality, those whom we judge as good may have many negative qualities, and those whom we judge as bad may have many positive qualities. We should strive to see them as they are, appreciating what is good in them, and helping them to improve what is not. The human is the child of their character traits and attitudes, behaving in accordance with whichever trait, good or evil, dominates. At times they become like monsters, ready to harm even their own siblings. Other times they resemble Joseph, their faces radiant like the moon, bringing light to dungeons and transforming them into pathways to heaven. They can ascend to such purity that even the angels envy them. Yet they can also descend to such wickedness that even the devils feel ashamed. When Rumi mentioned that, at times angels wish they were as courteous and refined as we are, and at other times devils tremble from our arrogance. He was perhaps referring to the fact that however distant these two poles of humanity may be to one another, they are closely interwoven. The human is at times heavenly, glorious and vast like the sky, yet at other times they can sink so low that even snakes and scorpions would seem more favorable in comparison. So volatile and broadly eccentric is the human that their merits often stand beside their disgraces. Though they harbor countless beauties within their being, humans remain vulnerable to countless evils. On one hand, faith, wisdom, love, and spiritual joys are as close to them as their own hearts. Loving others, embracing all, living with kindness, and helping others to experience the same are the ultimate aspirations of their lives. Responding to evil with favor, loving love, and being in a constant struggle against feelings of enmity are as sweet to them as the whisper of their own soul. But on the other hand, evil feelings, such as greed, resentment, hatred, lust, slander, mendacity, hypocrisy, corruption, opportunism, egoism, cowardliness, and ambition. Stalk them stealthily, waiting for a weak moment. With their virtues and good behavior, the human has the potential to be as perfect as the master of the universes. Yet when consumed by evil desires and ambitions, they lower themselves to the depths of the lowest. While pursuing their ambitions, they may appear outwardly free, but in truth they are in a state of a most miserable slavery. The human is free only insofar as they are victorious in the inner struggle of virtue, designated the greater struggle in the language of Islam. To unlock their profound potential and cultivate a second nature attuned to a relationship with God, humanity must win this inner battle within their soul. This victory must be felt deeply and embraced with humility, as humbly as when one lowers their head to the level of their feet, forming a perfect circle in prostration. Those who cannot divert their focus from the outside world to their inner being. Those who cannot discern the profoundness of their spirit as well as the gaps and defects in their nature. Lack the willpower to rise each day and reconstruct themselves. Even though they may speak of progress, in their inner lives they merely tread water, and with each step they slip further backward. Such people cannot manage to free their eyes and ears, tongues, lips, hands, or feet from the captivity to their own egos. They live and die as captives, unaware of their state. They are trapped in a pitiable enslavement to their corporeal forms. Loving and caring for those who preserve and elevate their humanity is to honor them as they deserve. As for others, they should be shown love and sympathy so that they can be liberated from the captivity of their evil feelings and passions. This approach is an expression of love for those whom God has created to be noble and is the very expression of God's compassion. Surely, all humanity was created to be loved.
You have just listened to the words of Fethullah Gulen, brought to life through an AI-generated voice. Known for his teachings on faith, interfaith dialogue, peace, and education, Mr. Gulen also inspired the Hizmet movement, a global initiative that promotes democracy, human rights, equality, and nonviolence. To learn more about Fethullah Gulen and the Hizmet movement, visit fethullahgulen.com.